We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves. We making major moves. We going all in like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves.
What is up, everybody? I'm Mr. Man. Welcome back to my channel. I appreciate every single one of you guys here. Today I have an interesting, I guess I'm going to go through an interesting take with you guys. I'm going to go through the new G7. Well, G7's endorsing the framework for the AI trust, laws, regulations coming into play. And then I have a timeline I want to present to you guys. It's rough. Sketch, like not even sketch, it's roughly put together right now, but I'm going to put it together, make it look really nice for you guys. I'll show you the concept I'm working on, and at that point, if you have no idea what's going on, I don't know what to do, really. Like, I come out here, I give the game, I give solid videos, I give fire, and I'll give you the timeline. And don't follow this timeline as like, here's the end, we're going to be rich. I have no idea. I'm not part of that club. I'm just a grown-ass man in a Spider-Man mask trying to figure this out like you guys are. I spend a lot of my time reading, listening to videos, and, you know, tapped into that world. That's it. That's it. There's no secret. So let's start off with the G7. So G7 endorses AI process policy framework and discusses operational data flows with trust. So on December 1st, the Group of Seven, or G7, digital and tech ministers met to discuss advanced artificial intelligence systems and operationalize data-free flows with trust. In particular, the G7's digital and tech ministers endorsed the AI process comprehensive policy framework and adopted a statement on operationalizing data-free flows with trust. I want you guys to realize how, like, some of the implications of this and how fast these things are moving. Not necessarily the framework and the policies for these things that are coming through, because they're coming in at breakneck speeds too. But this, although it may seem far, think of how far AI is already. Think of how far this financial system is already. Think of how far they're building smart cities. Like, think of how far these things are already. I presented a video for you guys a couple of days ago, and it was this Asian gentleman. I don't remember what his name was. And he was talking about once the evolution and the connectivity of digital takes off at that point, or technology takes off, you're going to experience that J-curve. And he attributed it to a hockey stick, accumulating like we've been. For some of us holding cryptocurrency that are compliant with prudential treatment, compliant with stablecoin regulation, compliant with CBDC framework, compliant with different jurisdictions, helping to create frameworks, they are going to go up like a hockey stick, like you would never believe. This will be a coming to Jesus moment. And now think of how fast that's going to go up at that point. We've all heard overnight. It may or may not be overnight. It might be a couple days in a row consecutively. And because you're just sitting there in awe, it might seem like one night. You ever just go driving sometimes and you're tired, extremely tired, just there doing your thing, you know? And you got from here to 400 kilometers ahead of you, 400 miles ahead of you, whatever system you're on. Sorry, I hit the mic. However, whatever metric system you're on. And at that point, you went from there or here to there and had no concept of how you even got there. You knew you were driving, you were just zoned out, you're tired, you're fatigued, right? You're focusing on staying awake, not focusing on where you're at, what landmarks you're passing, what's around you, who's around you, none of that. Until you finally come to and recognize, oh, where am I? And you look out and you see where you are. You don't even know how far you drove. You don't even know how far you drove. You don't know how long you've been driving for. What is the AI process policy framework? The G7 clarified that AI policy framework aims to promote safe, secure, and trustworthy AI and consists of the following elements. Remember, when this stuff takes off, there will be no control of it. There will be a period of our lives where it'll be complete and utter chaos. So I do hope you prepared for this. I don't know what that chaos looks like. I can paint a picture for you, but it's a picture I've come to the conclusion on my own, based off of my own research. It doesn't have to be your reality. I picture a time where I may or may not be forced or have to use a firearm of sort. I'm not saying against somebody or for somebody or for food. Whatever it is, I'm just picturing that I may need to use firearms for something. So I have a firearms license. I've had it for a couple of years now. I have ammunition. I have a hunting license. I have 2 rifles. Well, 1 rifle, 1 shotgun. I have slingshots. I have marbles ready to go. I have a military vest. You never know where life leads. I have food stocked up. I have water. I have access to water. I have gold. I have silver, physically custodied. Right? Physically custodied. I had an RRSP, which is a retirement savings plan, in a trust, in government trust at that point, where they hold it and lock it for an X amount of time, and you don't have access to it until you reach the age of retirement. So that money is locked up there. But what I had done was a lateral move from this RRSP to a self-guided RRSP in another company known as Questrade. And in there, I can purchase gold and or silver, and they custody it for me. If ever I want to take possession of it, I can just call them up and say, hey, I want to take possession of it. I'll be charged based off of how much I have there of a certain percentage that I pay to ship it to get it to myself as well. That way I can custody it if I need to. But the OEDC's reports towards a G7 common understanding on generative AI. Generative AI is the one that self-teaches itself. Slowly, surely, it'll be beyond you and I. Quickly, most definitely, it'll be beyond you and I. International Code of Conduct and project-based cooperation on AI. Further to the above, the G7 confirmed that it plans to continue its work on AI under Italy's G7 presidency next year, in years including intensifying efforts to encourage AI actors to follow the above principle as well as codes and conducts, and develop proposals to introduce monitoring tools and mechanisms to help organizations stay accountable for the same. In addition, the G7 will launch a dedicated website for the Hiroshima AI process to provide updates on policy developments in relevant countries and a list of organizations that commit to the International Code of Conduct. What did the G7 decide regarding data-free flows with trust? The G7 reaffirmed its intention to operationalize data-free flows with trust and establish an international arrangement for partnerships, which is expected to, among other things, launch initial projects and make tangible progress, collaborate with other international regional organizations in terms of broadening expertise and inclusiveness of participants according to the themes of projects, and provide updates and exchanges on progress, next steps, and priorities. So cool. They're going to keep you up to date with what's going on. You can read the press release here. I have that up. The AI process policy framework here. I got that up. And data-free trust flow trust and statements here. I got that up. I'm not going to read them all fully for you guys, but all right. Here's the Hiroshima AI process, G7. Here we go. We, the G7, digital and tech ministers and knowledge partners, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, one of these the international standards settings bodies, the ISSB, for the Global Partnership on AI, met virtually on December 1st. I want to find that. To continue and develop our discussions on advanced artificial intelligence systems, with a focus on examining the opportunities and challenges throughout the AI lifecycle. A part of the Hiroshima AI Prize process established by the G7. Let me read one more of these small, short paragraphs here. We endorse the attached Hiroshima AI Process Comprehensive Policy Framework, the Comprehensive Policy Framework, as the culmination of our work in the Hiroshima AI process under Japan's G7 presidency. That's right. It went from, the output of the Hiroshima AI process, under Japan's G7 presidency, represents the first successful international framework comprising of guiding principles and a code of conduct to address the impact of advanced AI systems on our societies and economies. It shows that democracies can act quickly to lead the way in responsible innovation and the governance of emerging technologies, aligning with different development of advanced AI systems with our shared values. We encourage actors throughout the AI lifecycle to follow the Hiroshima process, international guiding principles for all AI actors. Okay. And that's the press release of it there. That's the video. I'ma be hunting foe. Y'all. That's my weak ass gangster. Oh, I'm a gangster. Oh Lord, take me, Jesus. Okay, and this seemed pretty interesting too. This is the digital agency, or put out from the digital agency, their press release on December 1st. Let's read a bit further down, right? That's the meeting they're talking about here. So let's read a bit further down here. In the meeting, the G7 digital tech ministers, persons there and their names, which is an international mechanism for operationalizing DFFT, as was endorsed by the Hiroshima summit. At the end of the meeting, G7 digital and tech ministers statement on operationalization of, so the main points of the G7 and tech ministers statement on that, chaired by, where the heck? So the G7 reaffirmed that the IAP will bring together a community of data governance experts from various backgrounds, including governments, stakeholders, and data protection authorities, to contribute to the promotion of the cross-border flow of personal and non-personal data to operationalize the DFFT. So personal information going back and forth. So to me, this has to be in adherence to FATF with the travel rules, Financial Action Task Force, and with their travel rules back and forth at that point now, leaving from one jurisdiction to the next jurisdiction, from one country to the next country. That if you are in Canada or the UK or US, wherever your home base is, you get your digital ID, and you have your currencies, whatever currencies they are, when you cross a border at that point, that information needs to be able to adhere over here still, even though you're adhering here. It needs to have that bilateral agreement between each country that you decide to go to, and they have to work the same. So, where are we at? The G7 calls on the IAP to be built upon the vision and proposals outlined in the minister's statements and in the annex, known as the concept paper on establishing an institutional agreement for partnerships on data free flow with trust. Cool. That sounds cool. Oh, and that's MICA. I was looking that up earlier. What else did I want to show you guys? This last thing here. Okay, I found it. This is it here. This is the timeline I'm going to be working on here for you guys here. I'll show you it, and then I'll show you, well, it's nowhere near complete. I got Mr. Man Roadmap to Crypto Adoption. And again, don't hold this as gospel. There can be a lot missing. I'm only putting on there what I know. So feel free to make this a living document. Take this, manipulate it, add to it. Please share it. The more information we can get on this or on projects like this, the better. That way it's not just one mind putting information on it, it's multiple minds. And if the community and more than the community has something like this to add to, the better. The more we know, the more we grow. Each one, teach one. Sounds like a rap song. Each one, teach one. Ah. Okay. So, of course it ends with the rocket ship. I mean, everybody else uses it. Stellar uses it. IMF uses it. The BIS use it. So I'ma use it too. Okay, and then here's the timeline. I was going to go back to 2023, but we're exiting 2023 and heading into 2024, so I started with 2024. So here we have the timeline. For instance, the growth stage and end stage. I got a link there to that. By growth stage and end stage, I mean the growth stage, then the accumulation stage, and the end stage, and what that could possibly look like. We'll begin in 2024. There's a link there as well, so you can verify that. That's a Twitter link. Then there's the ETF approvals, the timeline in 2024. There's the Korean accounting standards adoption, which is in early 2024. We have in June, we have the ARTS, the asset reference tokens, and e-money tokens, the rollout through MiCA. We have Enbridge going live as a minimal viable project and MVP in 2024. We have the new UK polymer banknotes coming out, which will have King Charles's face on them, his side profile. I'm King Charles. We got quantum cryptography computing standards coming out for the US, the framework. September, we have global framework for the ETDA, Electronic Trade Document Act, coming out, the framework, global framework, all right. December 30th is the MiCA implementation. 2025, in January, China and US will begin to adopt, or phase in, I should say phase in, implement Basel III adoption, and there's a 3-year transition into that, so by 2028 they should be done that at that point. US and Canada to exit from coexistence. I think I spoke about this before, but when I say coexistence, originally I thought that was the end of SWIFT. But what it is the end of SWIFT being or monopolizing the industry is all it is. SWIFT will still be around. It's the end of MT codes, the slow data codes, and now to the rich data codes, which is MX codes at that point, financial codes. So they will be relinquishing or letting go the MT codes and switching to pure ISO 20022. So any particular projects that are in adherence to that will be fully utilized at that point, because there is no MT codes, it's only MX codes, and they'll be using pure cryptocurrencies to go back and forth. And also in 2025, that's also the reevaluation of crypto and DeFi standards at that point. All right, so that's why the adoption, full adoption, is taking place. So in 2026, we have the new US $10 banknote coming out, physical. These are the physical fiat stuff. 2028 is full adoption of Basel Endgame, which is what it's known in the US, and Basel III in China. EU is to exit from coexistence in 2028 for certain financial codes as well. A lot of them the MT codes, and they'll still be and capitalizing on the MX codes. And then also in 2028, there's the new $50 banknote coming from the US as well. In 2030, there's a new $20 US banknote, and in 2032, a new $5 US banknote. 2034, the new $100 banknote comes out. 2035, full migration to quantum computing in the US. I live in Canada, looking to move. Canary Islands was on the list. I'm going to Mexico in March. I'm gonna check out real estate in March. I found out that you can buy $1 or €1, €1 property in Sicily, Italy, and other places across Italy. Check it out. These are derelict places that need to be fixed up, and the price of these places, like to fix up, wouldn't cost as much to have to go and buy a new one. So as long as you're handy and you can do that work, go on with it. I have extra notes down here too, so the importance of quantum computing, US to roll out new banknotes, and how to handle currency notes, which will not be relevant, or will soon be irrelevant soon. I'm looking to add more to this, and I'll put that in the nice, beautiful presentation with the rocket ship, because that's what we're all waiting for. Truth be told, that's what I'm here for. You know, I'm learning about the tech, fantastic. I'm learning about these timelines, fantastic. How this helps me in my life, I haven't determined yet how this stuff helps me in my life yet. But in terms of knowing and understanding how to use the plumbing of this system here, it's just, a brother could cry, man. A brother could cry. Because if this is all I need for my freedom, I'm gonna continue to learn, and I'm gonna continue to teach you guys what I learned too. Because each one teach one, and I want to bring as many people as I can to financial freedom. As many people as I can, whether through real estate, whether through my real estate courses that I'm still putting together. I know I'm slacking on that. I'm focusing a lot on these videos here, but I will get that out. Focusing on, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, side hustles as well. I'm doing side hustles. I'm a property manager. I manage my own properties. I manage my Airbnbs as well. I'm a property manager for somebody else outside of this. I get up at 4 o'clock. I go to bed at like 12 o'clock. It's insane. I live a fast life right now. No coffee. Spend my mornings working out. I love it. That's how I create my energy. I want to be in control of my life. Anyways, enough of me rambling. I'm going to get off here. Love you guys. See you on the next one.
We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves.